American warships are moving into strategic positions. Iran is refusing to compromise on its nuclear program, and diplomacy is unfolding under the shadow of military power. This is not a sudden crisis. It is the result of years of mistrust, pressure, and unresolved conflict. At the center of it all lies a familiar question: can diplomacy survive when force is already on display? The Persian Gulf has long been one of the world's most sensitive regions. It is a vital artery for global energy supplies and a strategic crossroads for military power. When naval forces gather here, the world pays attention. In recent days, the United States has increased its military presence in the region. Aircraft carriers, missile destroyers, and support vessels have been deployed, signaling readiness and resolve. Officials in Washington describe these moves as defensive and precautionary. The message is clear: the United States wants leverage, not necessarily war. But history has shown that when weapons are positioned,
Iran,
intentions can
meanwhile,
be misread.
has
Responded with defiance. Tehran has stated unequivocally that its enriched uranium stockpile is not open for negotiation. Iranian officials insist that nuclear materials will remain inside the country and will not be transferred, stored abroad, or dismantled as part of any agreement. From Iran's perspective, this stance is about more than nuclear technology. It is about sovereignty, deterrence, and national dignity. Iranian leaders argue that past agreements did not protect them from sanctions, pressure, or military threats. As a result, they now view concessions as vulnerabilities rather than confidence-building measures. For the United States and its allies, the concern is different. The core issue is not civilian nuclear energy, but the potential for escalation. Control, verification, and long-term limitations remain the central demands of Western negotiators. Israel has been particularly vocal. For years, Israeli leadership has argued that Iran's nuclear capabilities represent an existential threat. Their position is firm: enrichment capacity must be neutralized, not merely monitored. This creates a fundamental gap between what Iran is willing to accept and what its opponents believe is necessary for security. President Trump's approach reflects this tension. Publicly, he emphasizes strength, warning that military options remain available if diplomacy fails. Privately, aides suggest that war is not the desired outcome. This dual strategy, pressure combined with negotiation, is known as gunboat diplomacy. It relies on the belief that visible force can push adversaries toward compromise. But it is a risky approach. When military assets are already in motion, the space for error narrows. Accidents, miscalculations, or political misjudgments can escalate rapidly. Behind the scenes, diplomatic efforts are accelerating. Talks are expected to take place in Turkey, with regional actors such as Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates involved. Their participation reflects a growing regional concern that a US-Iran confrontation would destabilize the entire Middle East. Iran has made its position clear ahead of these talks. Discussions will focus solely on nuclear issues. Ballistic missiles, regional influence, and defense alliances are off the table. This limitation makes negotiations more focused, but also more fragile. Both sides are under pressure at home. Iran is facing economic hardship, sanctions, and internal dissatisfaction. Its leadership seeks relief, but must also maintain an image of resistance and strength. The United States faces skepticism from military planners and political allies alike. Some question whether military strikes would achieve long-term stability. Others warn that any conflict could draw in regional powers and disrupt global markets. Neither side wants to appear weak. Neither side wants to take responsibility for failure. Despite the dramatic military movements, most analysts agree on one point: a full-scale war is not inevitable. Iran understands the consequences of a direct confrontation with the United States. The United States understands that military victory does not guarantee political success. Yet history offers a warning. Major conflicts do not always begin with deliberate decisions. They often start with pressure, miscommunication, and moments where restraint fails.